Yo, what is going on, guys? Spag here. It is that time again of the year. We have another DLC character, this time from the Final Fantasy series, NOCTIS, LUCIS, CAELUM. Now, this character is extremely unique to the Tekken series. I think most of us would agree that most DLC characters have been quite unique, but this guy is unique in his own way. He has he utilizes weaponry, which we haven't really seen much in the Tekken series. And they seem to have incredibly good range as well. A lot of these moves are super fun to play, super fun to use, and overall it's a breath of fresh air to Tekken. Another thing that I would want to note about this character before continuing on into the tutorial is that actually he seems to be at first glance quite simple. He isn't overly complicated. Like, you know, you look at someone like Geese, that was our last DLC character. He was a lot more complicated with his parries, with his cancelling, and just generally he seems to be a way more complicated character than NOCTIS. NOCTIS is a lot more straightforward, or as you could say, plays a bit more like a traditional Tekken character. So in this tutorial, we're going to keep it very simple. We're going to go through his punishes, his top moves, his stances, and then to finish it off, we're going to go and talk about his ranges, right? So we're going to keep it very, very simple because this character, in my opinion, is quite simple. So let's talk about his standing punishes. For I-10, he has 1-2-2. 1-2-2 doing 27 damage. However, it is only +1 on hit. So, you know, you're not going to be getting much frame advantage as you would get with other people's I-10 punishes. For example, let's say Steve. It's not very plus on hit. And on block, I mean, you can sidestep it and you can duck as well. It does not jail. So all of these are highs you can actually duck the string too. So not a move you want to be just throwing out. For I-12, he has two different options. He has back 1-2, which is your go-to 12 frame. It's +7 and does 31 damage. And just in case back 1-2 does not hit, you also have 4-2. But 4-2 is -1 on hit. It doesn't give you any frame advantage. This is only to be used where back 1-2 will not hit. For 14 frame, you have an interesting move. We have back 3-1. He chucks out his shield there, smashes him over the head. It's a pretty cool move. That's 14 frames. And if they do not roll back, you get a free down back 1+2. Pretty interesting move here. For I-15, we have down 4-2. Down 4-2, his go-to launch punish. And for 17 frame, we have up forward 3, which is kind of like a little bit like Lars's up forward 3. You know, launching 17 frames, pretty good. Now moving on into his while standing punishment, we have while standing 4, which is quite plus on hit, 11 frame. So, you know, if your opponent mashes after that, you know, we have a up forward 1 that you can count hit with. We'll go into that a little bit later on. But, you know, while standing 4. Your standard I-11 while standing punish. For 13, we have while standing 1-2. Pretty good damage, and it's plus on hit as well, so not bad there. While standing 1-2, pretty good. And for I-15, we have while standing 2-2, a 2-hit insta tailspin move as well, which will launch. So while standing 2-2, 15 frame launcher from full crouch. So now that we have gone through his punishes, let's talk a little bit about his top moves. So his top moves, number 1, I want to go through his down forward 1. Now down forward 1 is a standard down forward 1 is 13 frame and -1 on block, which most down forward ones are. However, this one is +9 on hit, so it's very, very plus on hit. On hit, it's going to give you a mix up. You know, you're gonna have so many frames to play with here. You can do pretty much anything. So down forward 1 is pretty good. It tracks to his right. So the way you get around down forward 1 is to sidestep right. You have to sidestep right. So yeah, down forward 1, pretty good. You want to be using this a lot as a poke. Let's talk about one of my favorite moves in this game. This has become quickly one of my favorite moves. This is so fun to use. So forward 2. He throws a little dagger at you, and look at the range, man. Just check out this range. Incredible. Look at that. I mean, this move is super good. It's safe as well, so if you use it, and he does a little bit of a roll when your opponent blocks it, so you actually don't get punished for it. So it's very linear, so you have to watch out for that. It is linear, but you want to be using this mainly for whiff punishes. And I think its main purpose, in let's say for example you're playing against Geese or you're playing against Eliza at this range, you know, if they start throwing out Dark Waves or Repukens, which a lot of those 2D characters do, you can react to it and go over it with this, and I think that's huge. I think that's massive. You know, a lot of characters can actually do that. They have to sidewalk, they have to respect it, but Noctis doesn't have to. Not with forward 2. So forward 2, you know, use it. Just spam it, man. Just have fun with it. It's a very, very fun move. Moving on, forward 1+2, which is plus on hit and on counter hits will launch. So this move being safe and counter hit launching is, and homing by the way, is definitely one of the moves you want to be using a lot. Forward 1+2 is super, super good. So yeah, make sure you use forward 1+2 a lot. Moving on, up forward 1. Now up forward 1 is a 14 frame counter hit launcher. It's a high, so you can say it's a little bit like Steve's back one, just not as good, you know, but it's 14 frame as well, not 13. So I mean, it's a counter hit launcher. It's one of the only counter hit launchers he has. You know, we've gone through forward 1+2 just now. Up forward 1 is his other counter hit launcher. So you know, if your opponent is mashing a lot, I guess, you know, you want to be using this up forward 1 quite a bit, and it is quite plus on normal hit anyway as well. So you know, make sure you use this. Moving on, now one of the things about Noctis is that his lows aren't the best. You know, you look at the lows like this, down 3, and you know, maybe, I don't know what else, down back 4. You know, these moves are not plus. They don't give you any advantage. I think, you know, down 3, its use is really just a high crush. I mean, it's not a bad poke per se, but it's not the best either. You know, you're not going to get much advantage from it. So, you know, use it to chip down your opponent. It's -13, I believe. It might even be -14. But you know, make sure you're using down 3, but it's not the best low. However, full clutch down forward 2 is another low poke that we've seen. You can only do it from full clutch, of course. It seems to be probably his best low poke. This is a poke which isn't, you know, heavily punishable. And it does do some decent damage. 17 damage is not bad for a low either. So, you know, make sure you're using full clutch down forward 2 as well. Moving on into a move which is actually quite unique. Back 2. Now, back 2 is a 15 frame mid. It's safe and... well, it's -9. So it's safe, but not... It's quite minus. But the interesting thing about this move is that it allows you to get a follow-up. So 33 damage is not bad if you for a safe mid poke. The way you do that is by inputting 1+2 after you do back 2, and you have to input it quite early. It's like it's almost like a just frame, so it's kind of difficult to get 100% of the time. But for a move that's safe, it's not bad to just throw out. Moving on, we have his orbital. Here we go, up forward 2. Now this move has a pretty silly range. I mean, for an orbital, I mean, check out that range, man. That range is pretty good. I'm trying to find the max range of it. I mean, even from there, like, to be able to hit, it's super, super good. So up forward 2, make sure you're using up forward 2 quite a bit as well. Now moving on into one of the moves that a lot of people were scared of when this character was shown in the trailer is Demo Man. Down 1+2, 1+2. Now this is a move which a lot of people compared to Paul's Demo Man, being a low trip 3-hit string which does quite a bit of damage. Now yes, it's a very good move. It does a lot of damage. However, this is not like Paul's Demo Man. The thing that makes Paul's Demo Man really good is that no matter where you step, you can sidewalk right, you can sidewalk left. That's gonna hit you. It's gonna hit you. That shit's gonna hit you. Here, if I block a jab and I sidewalk right, it will not hit me. It leaves you in full clutch, so you can get a while standing. You can get a while standing launcher. Definitely use it. It's a chunkier damage, and on the Forgotten Realm stage, it's gonna break the floor as well. So you'll get a full combo, which is pretty cheap. But remember, it can be stepped if you step right or sidewalk right. Now here's one of the moves that I personally have taken a real good liking to, which not a lot of people may think of. Now, back in Tekken Tag 2, I mained Jinpachi, and the great thing about Jinpachi that I loved to do was his down 4-3-2. Now, down 4-3-2 was a 2-hit wall splatting move, and what I would do is I kind of stay at the range of that move and bully my opponent, keep him at the wall, and whenever he would whiff, I would wall splat him. Now, Noctis has a similar move which isn't too bad on block. forward 4-2, bam, bam. And you know, it's minus 11, it's 17 frames. So I mean, this is definitely something you can react to as a whiff punisher at the wall. So forward 2, there we go, bam, bam, and you get a full wall combo as well. So forward 4-2, minus 11, definitely use it. It's a mid as well. Good move. Another move which I think is quite cheap as well is his back 4 1+2. It's minus 13. However, the pushback on block makes it very hard for some characters to punish. There may be a way for a lot of these characters to get around it, but it doesn't look like you can step it. You can't step it to the right, you can't step it to the left. Trying to interrupt it will get you hit as well. You may be able to down jab it. I haven't tested that yet, but you know, also a pretty cool move as well. The thing that NOCTIS can do, however, is he can parry it. Yeah, so it's cool. We have an answer to it. Yeah, you guys got to do your research in practice mode. I'm not just saying that anti-NOCTIS tutorial. Yeah, but yeah, use back 4 1+2 a lot because I've been using it and people get really annoyed when you keep on, because when they just figure out that there's no way for them to beat it. Or they don't know the way to beat it, then it's pretty good, and it wall splats as well. So yeah, use that move too. Another cool move is down back 1 1+2, bam bam bam. It's a 15 frame, I would say like a poke string. Down back 1 1+2 is minus 7, and it's plus on hit as well, plus 4 I believe. It's actually pretty good, you know, just as a move to just throw out. You are safe when you do it, so you know, why not? You know, it's one of these moves that you can maybe start your offense with. Down back 1 1+2 is good, and it's also one of the moves that well, I'll show you later, but it's actually a move which, if your opponent stays on the floor, it will actually pick them up and you can get a full combo. So this is also a very good Okizeme tool. So down back 1 1+2, keep that in your mind too, especially for Okizeme purposes. And the last move I want to talk about is down back 2. Now, people are debating whether to put this into a top move list or whether not to. I'm going to put it in anyway because I think that it is a move that is viable. It's got incredible range for a low poke. You know, it does a lot of damage. It is launch punishable, but you know, look at the range of this move, man. I mean, look at the range. It is pretty crazy. I mean, obviously it's quite linear, as it's a spear. You know, obviously it's going to be quite linear. You can step it quite easily, but you know, it's all about your timing. Tekken really is a lot about timing. That, you know, if you can time it correctly, down back 2 will hit your opponent, and you know, on counter hit, you can get a down back 1+2 for easy damage, or if you're feeling lucky, you can get a full combo. Just like we talked about before, down back 1+2 does pick up quite low, so yeah, use that too, man. Down back 2, use it, man. Why not? Now, to finish off the top move section here, we have while running 1+2. Now, this move is a normal hit launcher, and you know, it gives you a lot of frame advantage as well on block. So it's a decent move. I mean, I guess to get in, because he uses his sword, it also has a lot of range as well. So you know, definitely I guess use this move too. But remember that when your opponent reads that you're going to be running in and using it, it's very linear. So you can get heavily punished for it if you whiff. So make sure you don't get too predictable with it. Now, moving on, we're going to be talking about his stances. Now, this is going to be very straightforward. You know, if you go forward 3+4, he does a little roll. He has a mid, which is minus 14. It's quite heavily punishable, and he also has a slide, just a bit like Bob's slide. You know, this is very similar to Bob. However, Bob's launches and NOCTIS's doesn't. So, you know, you do this, bam, you get, you know, 3+4, 3+4. Down back 1+2 is guaranteed. Boosh. Maybe in the future people will figure out some more damage you can get from it, but you know, for now this is pretty good damage. If you want to just go in raw and put your opponent into a mix-up. Both of these moves, however, can be sidestepped. They're quite linear, so if your opponent is on his game and he's defending correctly, he will be able to sidewalk these options and punish you. And just like a lot of 2D characters, this character also does have a jump, right? So he's got different moves from the jump. You know, he's got a 1, he's got a 2, a 4, and he's also got a 1+2. So you do the 1+2 while he's jumping up. You have to press the 1+2. Otherwise, if you do it too late, he won't do it. You know, it's. I mean, I don't know how useful these moves are going to be, but you know, I mean, I guess it's okay. And I guess the other thing I want to talk about is from combos. So the go-to combo is, as you see there, 4-2. And when you do 4-2 after a launcher, it automatically goes into this like jumping stance. And in that stance, he has moves that you can use, different moves. And one of them is just 2-2-4-2, and it's a bound move. It's pretty good. I mean, you can go through the move list. There's not a lot of moves from that, but the useful moves, I suppose, are the bound moves, and you know, in combos they're quite useful. Bam, 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 bam. You know, there we go. He also has I would say, I guess, a back turn stance, which you can go into by pressing back 4, and he has a back turn 2, which is a safe launcher. Now, I don't know how useful his back turn stance is going to be, because he doesn't really have any mix-ups from it. You know, he doesn't have a back turn low which you can mix up with the mid. So I want to throw that out there as an extra, but I don't think it's that useful in game. But we'll see. I mean, the character's going to develop. This is early days. Let's see how the character develops competitively. And maybe I'm sure that I'm going to be surprised, and a lot of other people are going to find some surprising things with him as well. Now, moving on into the last part of the tutorial, we're going to be talking about his ranges. Now, this is a tough one. This is a tough one because, you know, he seems to have really silly range. This is one of the great things about him. You know, his 1+2, this is a homing move. We didn't really talk about it, but it is a lot of damage, and it's a homing move as well. So, you know, that's silly. You know, look at the damage you get here and the range. I'm literally standing right here, and it hits. I keep on thinking to myself, there's no way it's gonna hit. I have to be so far away for it to whiff. And you know, we didn't talk about his rage drive either, but lads, have a look at this. That is serious range, and you get a wall splat as well with this rage drive too. So if you see them whiff, you get a full wall splat. You know, so he has obviously the forward 1+2 as well. Forward 2, his ranges are extremely weird as far as Tekken goes. You know, he's able to fight at a bit of a range where normal Tekken characters can't play at. Even 2D characters, man. I mean, I don't even think that Geese has that sort of range, or Eliza with their fireballs and stuff. You know, like, he has a lot more range than those. This is why one of the reasons why I think that this character can counter that sort of keep out 2D style, because he has these kind of moves which can go over those projectiles. But of course, if we're talking about just traditional ranges, you know, he's got a good down forward one. It's not got the best range, but I mean, it's pretty good. You want to be staying at, I believe, to really pressure your opponent, the demo man sort of range, because that's the range where people are going to be really scared of, or be put in that sort of mind game of a mix-up. So down forward 1-2s, you know, stuff like that. But then if you want to, you can also play at a further out range, and you know, use forward 1+2, use these moves which have a lot of range, use down back 2, man. Look at that. I mean, he can play at multiple ranges. It depends on what kind of playstyle you want to adopt with him. Do you want to adopt a more poking playstyle where you can get into your opponent's face and out poke them, or do you want to get into the more unique style, I would say, with Noctis, and play at that outer range and just really annoy your opponent? I don't know. What do you want to do? What kind of Noctis player do you want to be? It's up to you. So guys, thank you so much for watching my Noctis tutorial. I hope it has been useful for you to know what moves to use, you know, how to approach the punish game with him, and get a bit of an understanding about what ranges you could play at. I mean, it's such a unique character, you know. I'm going to be having a lot of fun with him. He seems a lot of fun. I've played him quite a bit now, and I'm liking how he is. Let me know if you guys are going to be playing him as well, if you guys are having fun with him. If there's anything else you want to see in the future, please comment below. Guys, I have been Spag, and until next time, peace.
Yeah.